Good evening, guests and fellow Toastmasters. A warm welcome to the meeting 234 of Toastmasters Club of Lucknow. I am Toastmaster Akansha, your sergeant at arms for the day. I'm sure you are as excited as I am for this exclusive meeting. The meeting will be blocked for 2 hours from 4 to 6 pm, and you are expected to stay for the entire duration. I would like to begin by stating the mission of Toastmasters Club of Lucknow. We provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self confidence and personal growth. Before we start, I would like to share some ground rules. Keep your cell phones on silent mode or switch off during the meeting. I will give you 10 seconds to do that. Please keep your microphone on mute when someone is speaking and unmute only when called to speak. It is advised to keep the videos on so we have an interactive meeting, and please be mindful if you are moving out of the frame. Please turn off your video to reduce distraction. Please avoid sharing anything on chat box while someone is speaking, as that can distract the speaker and the role taker. Avoid sharing anything on screen when speaker is on a stage. Do not interject the speaker while they are delivering their speech or report. Regarding the topics of sex, religion, and politics, even the Toastmaster International does not put any restriction on speaking on such topics. At Toastmasters Club of Lucknow, we request all speakers and role takers to be mindful and responsible and abstain from expressing any controversial views on these sensitive topics. I also urge you to be cognizant of the fact that we, as a club, practice diversity and inclusion in letter and spirit, hence ensuring there are no sexist, racist, or any such undertones that create hostility and discomfort for members or guests. Lastly, let me now call upon our presiding officer for now, as Toastmaster Nikhil is not present right now. Toastmaster Manvi. Toastmaster Manvi is a sweet voiced biotechnologist turned into psychology enthusiast, pursuing PGD in training and development from ISTD Delhi. Keen interest lies interacting with people, making friends, and giving surprises. Over to you, Toastmaster Manvi.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Akansha. Can we give a huge round of applause for Toastmaster Akansha, our Sergeant at Arms? Thank you so much for beautifully opening the meeting. With this, we officially are in our Toastmasters Club of meeting. And I can see many people who are still off camera. Guys, we cannot hide our faces when we are in an offline setup. So I'll request all those who are comfortable and can be on camera to please switch on their cameras. We would love to see your beautiful faces. In the meantime, I can see there are few guests as well. I can see Toastmaster Pallavi joining in, but she is a regular member here. So we won't consider her a guest now, but I have those guest Deepesh joining in. Guest Deepesh, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Can we have a quick brief introduction from your side so that we even know who you are?
I'm Dipesh, and currently I'm pursuing freelancing and preparing for competitive exams as well. I do love public speaking, and I've been a frequent attendee of this club. Last week I did in this club, and today as well I have returned. So looking forward for a good meeting.
So much for joining in and hope you will stay till the end of the meeting. We would love to hear from you with feedback towards the end as well. I also can see yes, Subrat. Yes, Subrat, are you there? Yes, I can see you, but I cannot hear you.
I hope I'm audible and visible.
Yes, now you are clearly audible. Can we have a quick introduction
So,
from you as well? Hmm.
uh, definitely, I'm Subrat, currently residing in Bangalore. Hometown is Prayagraj. I work in investment banking. I currently work at Morgan Stanley. And that's all about me. Looking forward to be with you
Thank
all
you so much.
for a while.
Thank you so much for joining in. Are you a Toastmaster or a guest?
So in this one, I'm a guest, but I'm part of that Morgan Stanley Toastmasters Club.
Oh, beautiful. We have a Toastmaster joining in from a different place here. Thank you so
Yeah,
much, Toastmaster Subrat, for joining in.
my pleasure.
I all others are Toastmasters, so we'll quickly move on to the further proceedings of today's meeting. And today, the Toastmaster of the day is someone who is based out of Lucknow and currently working as a unit head in FMCG sector. Outside work, he loves traveling, gardening, catching up on the latest OTT shows. He is none other than our Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Anu. Toastmaster Anu, the stage is all yours.
Thank you, Toastmaster Manvi. And I hope I'm audible and visible clearly, right? Perfect. So, Toastmaster Akanksha from that. So, before I get into anything and I start this meeting, and I just have one request. Although Toastmaster Akanksha and Toastmaster Manvi have already made it, I would again make the very same request. It will be better if you can just come on your cameras. That will help to interact well and to gain, gain something meaningful out of this. That is one simple request. And beyond this, so before this, I get into theme and what I'm going to do. Let me introduce what this structure is all about because we have few guests also here. So typical Toastmaster meeting has got three sections, and we'll get to witness all of them. So first section is about prepared speeches. So we have three prepared speakers who will come and deliver their speeches with certain specific objectives, and there'll be evaluators also who will evaluate them. Second section of this meeting would be all about impromptu speaking. So we have a table topic master here who will assign certain interesting and specific topics, and all of us who have not opted for some specific roles, I think most of us will get a chance to speak on those particular topics, and we can improve our impromptu speaking skills. And third, the most important sections, our general evaluator, along with her tag team, in the last section, will come and share the feedback on overall meeting and prepared speeches and table topics and what all we did, what went right, what are the areas where we can improve upon. So there'll be a feedback session, and I think that is one session where most of us will get benefited out of it, right? So that is a structure of any Toastmaster Club meeting across the globe. That is how it operates. So this is just for information of everyone. Now, in order to get across, I think we have three speeches and then we also have a packed day. So we can finish on time. So I'll quickly get on to my theme. So I think between Dr. Akanksha and Man, we have tried to put few lines around it. The subject line what I gave to Suraj. Anyone who would want to speak, I mean, what it is all about. They have tried to put few lines. They're very close, but not exactly what I wanted to talk about. So I thought let's have a quick discussion. I mean, theme of the day is ties to tattoos. So, what is the first thing which comes to your mind when you hear this as a tagline? Anyone, in case you want to come in, and then probably we can start discussing and about the theme for the day. Anyone would like to take a shot?
Anything like I want to speak. When we talk about tattoos, we connect it to the form of self expression, and tattoos are very permanent. So it kind of an expression that stays with us and a commitment.
Right, right, right. So that's absolutely bang on in terms of tattoos per se. But my theme is little different from this. Okay. Yeah, Deepesh. Toastmaster Deepesh, you wanted to come in.
Expressing your authentic self. and tattoos is just personification for that.
Correct. 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 Again, tattoo signifies all of this, what you guys are talking about. But what today I wanted to talk about, so I mean, I was the day Suraj called me up, you have not been appearing. I mean, you have not been coming to meetings regularly nowadays. It's been a long gap where you're not coming. So on that specific day, I was with some of the industry friends, right? And there's one thing which is going on. I mean, quite. I mean, this discussion is quite regular nowadays. That at corporate workplaces, are we ready for Gen Z, right? So tattoo here signifies Gen Z, and tie signifies at least the millennials who are there at the workplace, right? So that is one debate which is going on. At least, I mean, when I started long back, some 15 years back, when I started my corporate journey, things are very, very different, correct? Now, when we get into these meetings and these, I mean, in our offices and units, we have a lot of people belonging to most of you are from the very same age group. So I thought, what will be better than to come here and discuss this? One, why people have this perception around Gen Z that it is not working out? What are the things which we can improve? And second, as a feedback, I mean, what are the things which need to improve at workplaces so that we are more accommodative towards these things, right? So why it should be one versus other, how we can improve upon this. So my theme is, I thought I'll just put one picture because that helps to communicate in a very, very effective way. So I think my today's theme is more about this. You would have seen this reel in fact at some or other places, right? There's a girl who comes with a neem mask at a specific meeting, and then there's a lot of discussion which happens around it. So this was a very, very viral reel. Can you come with that kind of atmosphere at a workplace? Can't you come that in that particular specific thing? So before I get into that, right? Since it is 4:20, I would want to know. I mean, do you feel there is some kind of discussion, some kind of chatter around it that at workplaces, at least one theme, one narrative which is there that Gen Z is not that serious enough? Have you guys encountered that kind of narrative, that kind of perspective at some places? Or, I mean, is it specific to the group where I am? Anyone? I mean, in case you have something to talk about it. Have you heard about this kind of narrative or news or something in media around
So
these? Yep.
actually, that was a prank.
Hmm.
So they tried to put this kind of prank, and there are several reels like that, and they are trying to get attention out of it. No way possible that someone can come to a meeting with a neem face mask also.
Possible. That's very much possible. But probably, I'm saying when I'm referring to this image, this is a possibility that I'm not aware about it, right? But these kind of narratives are being built. Have you heard about something like, I mean, Gen Z at workplace, it is difficult to manage them.
Can I
Have you
share?
heard about it?
Yes.
Yes, please.
There was one of the reels which I saw where Gen Z had emailed his resignation to his manager, and he's like, Harsh, I'm considering Harsh as my manager. Harsh, I didn't like the way you talked to me that day, so I quit. That's it. The shortest resignation. So this is very viral, and a lot of reels are circulating these days. Like if you say something to Gen Z, the only way they would reply is directly by resigning. So that is the idea which is being circulated all over social media. You would find plenty of these.
Possible. I'm saying you get to see those kind of narratives across. I mean, it is just one thing in terms of how long people are staying with an organization, how serious about their job. Like if I had to put it in a very, very serious perspective, I mean, the discussion what we were having the other day was around, I mean, this is now specific to a millennial group. They have this complaint. I don't know how right or wrong is that, right? The feedback was we used to perform more than our title. You would have seen one Rohit Sethi reel doing the rounds. Aapko, you get X amount to deliver 2X of that, and that is how you build your credibility, etc. And then people start building around. So I'm not sure whether that perspective is right or wrong, but that is something which is there. So I thought before I get into this theme, there are a couple of pointers what define any generation, right? So any generation is defined by 3-4 things. what kind of technological shifts have happened in that particular era, what kind of major events which have took place in that particular specific era, and what are the cultural shifts which took place. That ends up defining the specific persona, specific credentials of that particular age group. I'll just quickly put a slide. I do not intend to spend too much time on that, but just for perspective, right? When we say, I mean, this is a worldwide phenomena, what we call traditionalist, baby boomers, Gen X, millennials, and Gen Z or post millennials. The three important factors what define it. What are the social events which took place in that generation, iconic technology, and cultural phenomena? I'll just tell you this in Indian context. Like if I had to see the baby boomers in Indian context, forget about what happened at world level. But in Indian context, the major events where we got liberated in this particular era, we got the freedom from Britishers, and that was the major social event. We got into democracy. There's a couple of other things. Technology per se, the radio was the only thing which happened in that particular era. And cultural, etc., that was very, very off. I mean, in late 60s, we started Green Revolution and other things where we got into basic things where we can be sure of our food and other things, right? So that was the main challenge, and people try to work around it. How they appear, how they come across at different levels was defined by these 3 4 factors. They had a massive major role in that particular generation, right? We'll keep discussing about this as we go further, and we'll take your views how we can bridge this gap or how we can make it more meaningful when it comes to these kind of discussions at workplace, right? But before I get into that, I think we have a proper packed lineup for the day. So I would want to start with general evaluator, if you can. I mean, in terms of general evaluator, we have today Toastmaster Harsh. So Toastmaster Harsh, if you can quickly introduce your tag team and their specific roles, what they're going to perform, that will help everyone. But before I ask Hers to formally do that, Hers is a BCom graduate from Delhi University, and currently he's preparing for his defense exams. And he's also serving as president of Lucknow Toastmasters. So Hers, over to you. You have been to Toastmasters for quite some time. So over to you. If you can quickly introduce your tag team and their roles, that will help us to take this meeting forward.
So thank you, Toastmaster Anup, for introducing me in such an amazing manner. So a very good evening, everyone present over here. Today I will be playing the role of the general evaluator. And as the general evaluator, my role is not to point out the mistake, but my role is to polish the diamond. So, like, I will be observing the overall meeting. My main focus will be how the role players can improve their roles, how they can improve the quality of the meeting, how they can build the confidence by improving themselves. And so it's a difficult task to like observe and manage the overall proceedings of the meeting. So for that, I have a team, starting with the timer. So today's timer is Toastmaster Pallavi. Let me introduce Toastmaster Pallavi. So Pallavi resides in Lucknow and a Toastmaster from an year now. A regular one who loves taking table topics and someone who is humble and always ready to help, like she is helping us today as Toastmasters Club of Lucknow by taking up the role of timer. Over to you, Toastmaster Pallavi.
Thank you, General Evaluator Harsh, Toastmaster Herb. That was really a wonderful introduction. Good evening to everybody. The purpose of timer is to help speaker practice expressing their thought within an allotted time. Timing is essential as it teaches discipline and respect for others' time. I will be using the following signals. Green at 5 minutes for prepared speech. Green when minimum time is reached. Yellow when you are approaching maximum time. and red light when you have reached the maximum time have been reached. The timing details is as follows. Green for prepared speech, green at 5 minutes, yellow at 6 minutes, and red at 7 minutes. And for table topic, it is green at 1 minute, yellow at 1 minute 30 seconds, and red at 2 minutes. For evaluation, it is green at 2 minutes, yellow at 2 minutes 30 seconds, and red at 3 minutes. Kindly note that we have 30 minutes, 30-second grace periods on both the side for prepared speech, on the upper hand for table topic and evaluation. So I will come upon with my report when called upon at the end of the meeting. Thank you so much. Have a great day, everyone.
Thank you, Toastmaster Pallavi, for introducing this timer's role. Moving to the other role player. So today, the R counter role will be played by none other than Toastmaster Smruti. Let me introduce Toastmaster Smruti. Toastmaster Smruti is acting as a club coach for the Toastmasters Club of Lucknow. Apart from that, she is a certified soft skills trainer, mentorship specialist, and training content creator. In short, she is a multifaceted Toastmaster and an individual. Apart from that, her career is marked by a commitment to fostering personal and professional growth through communication, leadership, and learning. That's all from my side. Over to you, Toastmaster Smriti. Please introduce your role.
Thank you so much, Mr. General Evaluator. My name is Smriti Sagarika Mohanty, playing the role of an R counter in this particular meeting. As an R counter, I will be listening, and I will say I am listening, I'm genuinely listening. I listen, I'll make note and notify the unnecessary words and sounds used and made by all the speakers and the role players of this particular meeting. My report would focus majorly on areas such as the fillers, which are quite common. Fillers like inappropriate interjections which we use to while transitioning between words and sentence like and, well, but, so you know, the usage of crutch, which are basically actually this thing, etc. The repetitive words, phrases like I, this mean, all the unintentional, unapologetic, sometimes the long and the short pauses. So here's the food for thought. Be actively listening to yourself while you are speaking today because I am making a note and will share the same once called upon by the General Evaluator towards the last leg of the meeting. Back to you, Mr. General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Smriti, for introducing your role. Moving to the next role player, that is the Grammarian role. So today the Grammarian role will be played by Toastmaster Akansha. Let me introduce Toastmaster Akansha. So Dr. Akansha hails from Lucknow, Uttar Pradesh. She has pursued her graduation from Saraswati Dental College and is currently pursuing her MBA from SDA Asia Center. And before stepping into the world of management, she worked as a marketing executive at SK Awadh Builders. Beyond her academic and professional journey, she is deeply passionate about singing and community service. That's all. Over to you, Toastmaster Akansha. Please explain your role.
Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator, Toastmaster Harsh. As grammarian, it is my responsibility to pay close attention to all speakers, listening carefully to their language usage. I will take note of any improper language as well as any outstanding words, quotes, sayings, or thoughts. As grammarian, it is also my duty to introduce the word of the day. For today's meeting, the word is diligent. Diligent, which means showing care and effort in one's work or duty. An example for using the word is he is a diligent student who always submits his work on time. Each speaker is encouraged to use the word of the day. I will give the grammarian's report when called upon during the meeting and also report on the usage of the word of the day. Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Akansha, for introducing your role. At the end of the meeting, I will be up on the stage to share my general evaluation report with my team. That's all from my side. Over to you, Toastmaster Anup. You can continue with your thing.
Thank you, Toastmaster Hers, for explaining your role and your tag team role so diligently. And so that's very impressive. And now we get back to our meeting. We have heard what general evaluator is going to evaluate and what tag team is going to evaluate, right? So you'll be getting specific feedback around these areas. So be mindful of it, and probably from this feedback, all of us will improve. Now coming back to again theme of the day, right? What we discussed. So any generation ends up deciding, or their persona is decided by the major event, social circle, what is working around it. I think one thing which is very common in nowadays when it comes to Indian context, at least what we call post-millennial or Gen Z, there are a lot of things which have happened in that era in terms of whether it is technology, whether it is social events. Indian economy got opened up after 91. So we saw globalization coming in. Technology front, we have seen a lot of things happening. Whether it is Facebook, whether it is Instagram, whether it is mobile, whether it is cheap data, whether it is UPI, all of that has happened in this particular period, right? So probably the behavior is also tweaked, aligned with these specific things, correct? So before we get into further and we discuss this, and I call the first prepared speaker, I just wanted to hear from some of you because most of you belong to that particular age group. What do you think? Where it is going wrong when it comes to getting specific details, or when people are evaluating Gen Z, what are the kind of mistakes what they're committing? Or any kind of feedback you have for that generation? Okay, listen, this is where you're not doing right. This is what you need to consider before passing any judgment, before forming any kind of opinion, before forming any kind of bias, right? So anything anyone want to speak about it? How do you think how this generation is different than millennials? Let me just put a specific question here, Toastmaster Pallavi.
Yes, what I feel that young generation is very much impatient. They don't apply their mind diligently. They just into the conclusions and in the fractions of second rather than being mindful and analyzing the situation or background of the happening around them.
So one thing what Toastmaster Pallavi talked about, people are in hurry. If I had to see it from that lens, and people want quick results, quick money, whether it is through content creation, whether it is through there are a lot of forms also available around that, right? I mean, you see people becoming a star through TikTok or something, and you feel, oh, this is that easy. So probably that is one thing what she's trying to emphasize. Yeah, Toastmaster Anushka, I think she raised her hand to talk about it. Yeah, Toastmaster Anushka.
So, I would like to say that I am a Gen Z as well. I'm 21 years of age, and we as a generation, we have the access of social media. So we started seeing people very early, and we got an idea that okay, we need to start earning really early. We need to do it. We are getting loss of time because people around us started working. So we don't have that much of, like, we are in teenage and we started working, and we don't have a specific form of following the rules. We are very direct sometimes. We might say things, okay, I'm quitting, rather than explaining ourselves to others, because it becomes sometimes very complicated for such young age. Second thing is that we don't run to any conclusion. It's just that we are going to take some time to understand things. Yes, this generation might appear some this or that, but over the period of time, we are going to be the best because we are tech savvy and we are the people who are facing difficult kind of competitive level exams. We're still pioneering that, and we are putting our 100% efforts, and it is organic, skill based, not just degree based. So we are ready to learn as well.
Yeah, absolutely, Toastmaster Anushka. I second that thought that you'll do well, and this generation, it has to do well. And that is how this globe, this country will do well, right? So there's no doubt in that, but probably I think what you also highlighted, or what you emphasized in this discussion, that immediate gratification is one thing what is also what is also coming as a behavior or as a trait for the younger generation, right? Last I'll take, I think Toastmaster Asanki has raised his hand, and we'll go to him and hear his views, and then we'll move ahead on this. Yeah, Toastmaster Asanki. Toastmaster Asanki, are you there?
Sorry, I was speaking on mute. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Anup. And that's a very prevalent. I feel that's a very prevalent question that I think a lot, primarily because I have a team of around 8 individuals that I have to cater. I have to make sure that they are getting their job done. A couple of them are even senior to me. But with respect to the age thing, what I felt when it comes to Gen Zs, particularly. Their motivation is something that goes, they have a very high and a low and sort of a skewed uh, like zigzag sort of a motivation, and that if that is taken care of, if you can tick that right chord and if you can motivate them in the right manner, so they might be a little more productive vis-a-vis compared to someone maybe a millennial like me. So that is something I feel they are for sure more productive, more creative, and it's just that they have a lot of noise that they might have to cancel out just to get the job done, is my experience of working with Gen Zs at least.
Right. So I just echo that sentiment, Asank. I think what you talked about, a team of six, I have a team of 156. So sentiment is same. I mean, it is no different. So we also experience the very same thing. But if I had to just summarize between three of them what they have talked about, whether what Pallavi talked about, what Toastmaster Anushka talked about, what Asank has talked about, this view is not very different for the younger generation from an older generation. I'll just show you one quote and then we'll move ahead, right? Just let me know once my screen is visible. Is it visible?
Yes.
Okay. So Aristotle in 384 BC talked about younger generation, right? And he talked about the exactly same 3 points what fellow Toastmasters have talked about. Young people, I mean, young people here, you can refer it with Gen Z. Young people are often driven by strong desires and an eagerness to pursue them. They tend to prioritize physical pleasures, especially those that bring immediate gratification, and often struggle with self-control in these areas. Their interest and desire can shift quickly, right? They pursue them with intense enthusiasm, but may lose interest just as rapidly, reflecting a will that is intense but not enduring. They're emotional, quick tempered, and prone to acting on impulse, finding it hard to manage their feelings. Their strong sense of ambition makes them sensitive to disrespect, and they react strongly when they feel wrong. Right? So, this was said by Aristotle in 384 BC for the younger generation. So I think any generation which is going through that, they have the very same sentiment. What is being talked about Gen Z? It is no different. Probably as millennials, when we were growing up, it was the similar kind of feedback what was there in the erstwhile generation, right? So it is more about transitioning. It is more about staying contemporary. It is more about staying relevant and how we can do that. Right? So I think that equilibrium somewhere has to come, and that is how we can benefit from each other. But before I talk about this any further, I would want to call Toastmaster Asank, who's evaluator for today's speaker, Toastmaster Anushka. So Toastmaster Asank, if you can, Toastmaster Asank will brief about the objectives of the speech for Toastmaster Anushka. And before I call Toastmaster Asank, he is born and brought up in Lucknow, and he's also performing. He's working with Emirates on corporate front, and also serving as district chief judge in District 124 Toastmasters International. He has taken various roles and has performed various leadership roles across the Toastmaster Club. So over to you, Toastmaster Asank, if you can.
Thank you so much, Toastmasters fellow Toastmasters. A very good afternoon to all of you, and a special good afternoon to Toastmaster Anushka. I'm wishing her all the best for her level 1 project 2, writing a speech with purpose project. Before I get into the specifics of the project, a little about the speaker. Toastmaster Anushka hails from Prayagraj. She considers herself a blend of discipline, creativity, and resilience. She is someone who is preparing for getting into the management space, preparing for MBA interviews,
and looking to target premier B schools in India. She joined Toastmasters to work upon her communication skills and is actively pursuing to better communicate or express her ideas and connect with people and continue evolving along with that. Moving forward to the project details. So Toastmaster Anushka will be delivering her level 1 project 2, that is writing a speech with purpose. The timing for the speech is 5 to 7 minutes, and the topic for the speaker is communication beats intelligence. So the purpose of this project is for the member to deliver a speech with a underlying purpose statement or a objective, and that should be fulfilled. So without further ado, let me invite Toastmaster Anushka on the stage. Toastmaster Anushka, communication beats intelligence. Communication beats intelligence. Toastmaster Anushka, the stage is all yours.
Thank you so much for calling me upon this stage.
Mr. Toastmaster Anushka, I'll just request you can restart it. You can disconnect one of your audio devices. Just disconnect the audio of one of your devices. Maybe the one wherein you have your camera on. Just disconnect the audio of that device. Perfect. We can then pin you now in that case. And I will reintroduce you, Toastmaster Anushka. Communication beats intelligence. Communication beats intelligence. Toastmaster Anushka, the stage is all yours.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for having me here. My topic for today is communication beats intelligence. Why I have picked this topic is what I think about communication. And there's a very strong reason why I chose this platform. I joined Toastmaster because I wanted to work upon my communication. I wanted to speak with my mind. And in the past 2 speeches, I tried to put on very good speeches, work with AI, tried to jot down every single point that I can put on in the speech that makes it very attractive, engaging. But I tried and I failed because I was trying to go back and remember whatever I've written, and I started fumbling there. Communication is a weapon for me. Communication is weapon for people. Just imagine being introvert. Just imagine having 2-3 people friends group, having connection of just 2-3 people. Yes, it is very important. You have very strong base, but having good communication gives you a little edge. What I have observed is giving you an acquaintance of around 100 people. You can communicate your thoughts better. You can not just communicate better in your presentation or in your life or in your schools, but also in a community where you live. I'm a young person. My words barely matter in a family meeting. Let's say I'm saying something and my voice is not very clear. My communication is scattered. It is not in a flow and it is not engaging. I'll be cut short. Here in this meeting, I have 5 to 7 minutes speaking uninterrupted. I will be evaluated at the later. But in the real world, communication is not like that. Having a very thoughtful idea, having a very nice intelligence and a mind that is very sharp is a blessing. But if we implement, if we can communicate it, because big ideas, because teams, because friends, families matter, and they can understand you even without saying things, but sometimes you need to speak with your mind. Sometimes intelligence is good, but communication makes it much better. Communication sometimes take you to the position where you are actually communicating your thoughts and you are being a doer, maybe sometimes foolish, but a foolish doer is sometimes better than a strategic thinker who is not doing something. That's what my thought is communication about. Let me give you an example. It is an example of credibility. I am standing here and I'm trying to just tell about whatever is in my mind. Maybe I don't have a prepared speech. I don't have today a jot down points, but I'm communicating myself. And through that communication, I'm trying to speak my mind. Let's say someday I stand at a position where I don't have any specific way of talking. I will lose credibility there. And that is what I am putting myself into today in this difficult situation. in a position where we all will be put in a condition where we are going to be on our tippy toes. That is what builds credibility. In tomorrow's world, we are not going to sit there and let others people put words into our mouth. We are going to speak our mind. We're going to speak. Maybe it can be wrong, it can be right, but it is going to be our thought. And it is very much important for everyone, and especially girls who are going to work, because we cannot be pushed around. We cannot think of someone will come for us and take a stand. We need to take a stand and not allow someone to cut us in between. That is what builds communication. That is what we are doing on a random Sunday at 4 p.m. Trying to put ourselves in a table topic competition every single Sunday, putting our edge a little further every single time. That is what builds communication. And that is what is going to help us in forward life. I'm going to put myself into this. I'm going to do this thing. That actually hones our skill, makes us intelligent, makes us very impromptu. And diligently working towards all of these things makes us a better communicator. We can put our thoughts clearly outside. I'm not going to give you an example of someone. I don't have read that many books. I cannot quote anyone. I can tell you my story. I am a small girl. I am a 5 feet person. I can be easily be overshadowed, but I am going to talk about an incident where I was just a small person standing in a corner, being cornered by a person, by a boy who was bigger than me, who had a stronger voice than me. Even though the timid voice in me said no to an opinion that was being put it into my mouth, that was being made me to agree to a question. I said, no, that is not what I meant. This is the thought that I meant. This is the answer that I want to give. And it reflected today while giving the interviews, where a simple questions were put upon. The interviewer tried to put words like, yes, primary colors are red, blue, and green. I said, no, sir, there are some mistakes in that. And I protested. I communicated what I thought was right. And I converted those colleges just because I took a stand and I took a valid stand. That's what I learned through communication. Thank you. That's what I meant through my speech today. Communication gives you skills and platform where you can put your best thought and gain to the top positions wherever you are. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Toastmaster Anushka. And I think that was a brilliant one. I just have one thing to add on after hearing your speech. I think diligent communication doesn't just give you a little edge. In fact, it gives you immense edge. I mean, whatever field you are into, but that is the kind of difference it brings to. So well done, and you'll get your feedback from your evaluators in subsequent time. So that is where we stand. Now, before I call our table topic master, I just wanted to continue more on that theme. What I just showed you what Aristotle said in way back 384 BC, right? So every generation had that problem with the next generation with which they had to deal with. And it is no different, right? I think millennials also had the similar kind of feedback from their previous generation, and that's how it has been. And whatever he said stays relevant throughout all these years. One thing, what is there? I mean, once you get into further and try to study, there's one difference which is there. When these generations are there and it is being passed, the basic difference is it is more about the basic line of respect, how I should define it. So for older adults, respect is more about listen to what I say. So they derive respect out of this. For younger adults, the respect is just take me seriously. I mean, whatever I'm coming up with, thoughts, ideas, suggestions, the only ask from their side is take me seriously and consider me in this decision-making process. I think that is one place where probably we are not able to uh, get that kind of equilibrium, and that is where these kind of feedbacks and since we also have social media, these kind of reports things surface a lot more than previous times. So at least whatever I have seen, it is more about that respect aspect. Take me seriously and listen to me what I say. That is where the difference lies. And if you are able to bridge that, we'll be able to do much better on that aspect. Now, before I talk any further, I would want to get into the second section of our today's meeting, and I would want to call our table topic master of the day, Dr. Akanksha. She has already been introduced by our GE, but just for a recap, Akanksha is a dental graduate. Now she's pursuing her MBA from SDA Bosini Asia Center. She brings marketing experience and a passion for singing, makeup artistry, and NGO work. So looking forward for a very engaging session. Over to you, table topic master, Dr. Akanksha.
Thank you, Toastmaster Anu. Uh, I'll just need a minute. Sorry. Table topics enables a member to develop the skills of impromptu speaking. Table topics help train members to quickly organize and express their thoughts. You can think of the table topic speech as a mini speech of 1 to 2 minutes with an opening, a body, and a conclusion. The green card will be shown by the timer at 1 minute. Yellow card will be shown at 1 minute 30 seconds. Red card will be shown at 2 minutes. And please note that the speaker who speaks diligently less than 1 minute or more than 2 minutes 30 seconds would be disqualified. So who would like to go first? Any volunteer? Okay, Toastmaster Anushka. Toastmaster Anushka, what can millennials learn from Gen Z about self expression? What can millennials learn from Gen Z about self expression? Toastmaster Anushka.
What millennials can learn from our generation is actually putting ourselves forward, not being able to push around. We say quit the moment things reach to our mental health. Like we prioritize it like our religion. Second, that they can learn and we can learn from each other is try to hold on things a little longer. I think millennials do it better. They hold on to things, but they hold it on even when they are even when while holding it they are bleeding, and we don't do that. But we need to learn how to hold it on till the right time. Getting instructions very nice. We cannot work with complex instructions. Yes, millennial can work with strong instructions, complex instructions, but we get confused. We are like, give us simply, we will do it correctly. We are like more into AIs, and we try to do things a little bit faster. Sometimes millennial thinks that doing things faster, not the right, following the right pathway, is actually doing wrong. And what we do is try to respect each other's emotions more rather than the rank. Even if we are facing someone who is older than us, we try to look into their sentiments and we expect the same rather than we are expected to focus on someone's rank. So I think millennials are very much older and they know a lot of things. But yes, we have few differences, and that is what I can think of right now. And any which ways, no matter from wherever or whichever generation we are belonging from, there's still a scope of learning. I am learning, and I think everybody on this platform of Toastmaster is here to learn something. tries to communicate some thoughts, and that is the best thing that we can do to ourselves and to others. Thank you so much for this talk.
Thank you, Toastmaster Anushka, for diligently delivering such a wonderful speech and maintaining a balance between both of them. Thank you so much. I saw Toastmaster Manvi raise her hand. Toastmaster Manvi, what can Gen Z learn from millennials about patience and stability? What can Gen Z learn from millennials about patience and stability? Toastmaster Manvi, over to you.
I'm not sure about the generation, but what I personally know is every single individual present in the meeting, and not just in the meeting, but every single individual present around us teaches us something. I have been learning patience from someone from last 2 years. It is not just about in leadership or in Toastmasters, but along with that, it is also about how to deal with people, how to handle the so-called tantrums of the teenage leaders, and how even to handle the motivation, how to motivate them in different ways. So when Toastmaster Akansha asked me what to learn from millennials, and especially what to learn from every single individual, I feel if you want to incorporate any single learning, you will find that individual and you'll learn from this generation, from previous generation, or even from the younger generation. Because every single individual has something in them that makes them unique from others. And that is not just about generations, my dear friends, but it is about how motivated you are to incorporate that skill. So, Toastmaster Kansha, when you ask me how I learn patience or what I can learn from the previous generation, what I'm learning right now is patience with people who I cannot tolerate, with people who are hard to handle, and with people who I would have killed if others would not have been there to guide me. That is my learning from last 2 years now. What is your learning, Toastmaster Kansha? The stage is all yours.
It would be finding some stability with what I am choosing, what I am pursuing, what I want in my life. The stability is the thing which, yeah, okay. So, Toastmaster Dipesh, you want to say something or you want to go next?
I want to go next, but since you
Okay.
have given me the opportunity, I would say something I relate with Manvi that some days I I really want to kill somebody, and it's so difficult to, you know, be composed and calm in the situations. So that's quite difficult. The calmness is in these days is very rare, and it's a skill to be learned and acquired.
Okay, great. So, moving further, Toastmaster Dipesh. Who handles failure better? Millennials who adapt or Gen Z who express openly? Who handles failure better? Millennials who adapt or Gen Z who expresses openly? Toastmaster Dipesh. Over to
You,
you.
we are having conversations centered around millennials and Gen Zs, and here am I wondering, I belong to the lost generation or the generation of baby boomers because I relate more to them. And I don't relate to Gen Z or millennials either. So I would, I click on the TV, I would prefer listening satsangs. That's, I feel like 60 at this age. But as somebody who was born in the transition phase, like between the millennials and Gen Zs, I've seen both worlds. Mostly millennials because both of my brothers are elder to me, much elder than me. They are 80s born. So millennials culture is something which I've seen and mostly grew up with. But I've seen something, and I would be sorry for the audience, for all the Gen Z. I would be biased towards millennials in this scenario because millennials handles failures better. And there is a reason for it, why I say it. Because Gen Zs have plenty of options. And when you have multiple options in every facet of your life, think about it. If I want a relationship, all I need is install an app, and people are swipe away. That's it. Problems which are very used to be complex now have been resorted or amalgamated into uh, nothing more than an application. So the diligent work required to do certain things, the painstakingly effort which used to go in, is now decreasing. And even in millennials, if we compare it to even earlier generations like Gen X and baby boomers. So what I would suggest to Gen Zs is not just Gen Zs, even millennials and everybody listening, quit social media for better. Let me tell you, I have done that and my life is peaceful. This quietness, there is no urge to prove something, and it's really, messing up with our brain chemistry. Everybody is whistling, despite because this is a common problem of millennials and Gen Zs. When we do that, we develop something significant we don't even realize that, and that's resilience. That's patience. I think Manvi was talking about that. Patience, resilience, and we both need to do it together. And once we do it, I think we both of these generations would be able to handle failures much better and resilience much better. So back to you, tabletop master.
Thank you, Toastmaster Dipesh, on your wonderful take. Who would like to go next? Any volunteer?
Hello. It's Toastmaster Shubham in the room. Toastmaster Shubham, would you like to take the next topic?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Guest Shubham. Is Gen Z too quick to make permanent decisions or just more confident? Is Gen Z too quick to make permanent decisions or just more confident? Guest Shubham, over to you.
Well, I guess for answering this question, we have to check how Gen Zs and millennials are doing their work, how they are taking decisions. And after just thinking a lot, I guess you can say that it all depends on the person, because the person, the work they are doing, or the environment, everything. There are different factors which depends on making that decision. And talking about Gen Zs, I guess they are more confident because they are trying different things. Not we, I can't say we, but most of the millennials which are in a permanent job or doing something particular, and compared to the Gen Zs who are just trying out things, as Toastmaster Anup has mentioned, different Toastmasters mentioned that different Gen Zs are doing different things, making reels on Instagram or exploring world, and they are earning. They are doing pretty well, I guess. Say. So all in all, I guess it's all about the environment they are being in, and it's more about also. I guess it's more about digitalization because Gen Zs are more exposed to the world, exposed to the social media and all, in compared to us, and because of that, they're getting much ideas, different ways to go, and doing much more things in a very good way. So I guess it all depends on that. Back to you, Toastmaster, table topic master Anushka.
Thank you, guest Shubham, for a wonderful take. Who would like to volunteer next? Should I pick then? Mm, Toastmaster Smriti, will you like to volunteer?
Sure.
Okay, Toastmaster. Okay, yeah. Toastmaster Smriti. If your personality were a tattoo, what would it look like? If your personality were a tattoo, what would it look like? Toastmaster Smriti, over to you.
Sometimes you desperately search for a topic, and there comes the table topic master giving that topic on a platter, and that is you, Toastmaster Akanksha. If I have a visual representation of my tattoo, let me just show you why to speak about the same. My personality will look something close to this one. Well, it is like an anchor and a wheel. Okay. And in this particular meeting, when I say this is my personality, it is a tattoo. I am a millennial. I am someone who failed to reach the height of 5, unfortunately. I am brought to this particular world by a baby boomer, which is my father. My mother, who raised me, is someone from Generation X. I am dealing with my brother, who is Gen Z. I am trying to survive with my partner, who is a Gen Alpha in a body of a Gen Y. So that's the combination which I bring on this particular table. But let me bring you back to this personality again. While dealing with each and every facet of my life and the people whom I mentioned, my personality still remained the same, an anchor and a wheel. In every relationship, in every generation, and when we're talking about two generations, one is an anchor, one is a wheel. In a situation, one is someone who takes a direction, and other is a someone who decides when to stop, when exactly to guard the position, because that's equally important. Be it millennial or generational, the generational gap with Gen Z, why we are debating and fighting to progress there? Why can't we take the example of communication? Why can't we enact the skill of listening while we're dealing and facing this particular aspect? As highlighted by Toastmaster Anup, someone in the 18 some ADs and BCs highlighted something with respect to the generational gap. So every time with every generation, we will come across this particular situation. At that point of time, go back to what you identify yourself as. For me, it's the anchor and the wheel, and that's my solution to ease down the generational gap which we can bring. Back to you, Toastmaster Kanksha.
Thank you, Toastmaster Smriti, for being an anchor and a wheel. Thank you so much. Who would like to go next? Toastmaster Asankyo, would you like to go next?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Toastmaster Asankyo, if you had to design a tattoo for your best friend, what would it be? If you had to design a tattoo for your best friend, what would it be? Toastmaster Asankyo, over to you.
All right. Thank you so much, Table Talks Master. So, having a tattoo is something that I've always longed for, right from I remember my teenage days. So this takes me to maybe a nostalgia wherein was ardently requesting my parents to get a tattoo. And this question is more about a friend. So if I had to get a tattoo for my friend, it will be like uh, one of my closest friends who I have known for more than a decade is there in the room itself, Toastmaster Nikhil. So, and someone who I have uh, shared a flat with over for almost a year or so. So I can just give this example wherein people might see my routine, people might call me an atheist, and he is the exact opposite of it. So if I had to give him a tattoo, I will give him the tattoo of Shivling is how I see it. He is a die-hard devotee, and at the same time, and when he is always going, or whenever he is going out, the first thing he want to do is be there at the temple before getting anything done in the morning. And I am the one who might 99 times out of 100 I won't be there at all with him, even though he might be requesting me all 100 times. So that is how I see it. Even though we are contrasting personalities, but at the same time I felt we complement each other a lot when it comes to being there as a support system for each other. And that is wherein I'll say the support I derive from him is something that he initially derives from the supreme power, the divine power of Lord Shiva. So that's all from my side. Back to you, Toastmaster Akansha.
Thank you, Toastmaster Asankyo. to portray wonderful bond you share. Toastmaster Nikhil, would you like to go next?
Yeah, sure. Toastmaster Akansha.
Okay. Toastmaster Nikhil, if every achievement earned you a tattoo, which one would you be most proud of? If every achievement earned you a tattoo, which one would you be most proud of? Toastmaster Nikhil, over to you.
I think the difficult circumstances that we face in our lives are the foundation for any achievement. And I there's this quote by a nice name, a diarist, a French American diarist that I highly relate with. It goes something like, the risk to remain tight in a bird, and the time came when the risk to remain tight in a bird was more painful than the risk it took to blossom. And that is something I have, since I read it, it has been like etched in my memory. And as I said, I came across this quote when I was going through a difficult time, and whatever little I have achieved in my life so far, I dedicate to this quote, because when the first time I read this, I took a very important step in my life, and I owe everything to that step. And whatever little I have achieved goes to it. So that is what I said. It's more about more than achievement. It's about the process that leads to it. And if I have to get a tattoo about any achievement, instead I would rather get this quote tattooed on my arm, or So yeah, I think that's it. So over to you, Toastmaster Kansha.
Thank you for sharing wonderful quote with us, Toastmaster Nikhil. Who would like to go next? Toastmaster Anup?
Yes, Table Dog Master Akansha, tell me.
Okay. Toastmaster Anup, are Gen Z redefining success or just rejecting traditional ties? Are Gen Z redefining success or just rejecting traditional ties? Toastmaster Anup, over to you.
So the way I think, in terms of redefining success, answer is yes. They are progressing well. There are a lot of vectors on which they are able to post a lot of things beautifully. Right? For us, technology, we were just learning technology. For us, writing an email was a learning experience. We have gone through that. Probably Gen Z has bond with it. They adopt technology so beautifully, so seamlessly, that they can come across with the way they deal technology, and they come back with a lot of solutions, and they have eased out a lot of things. So if success has to be defined by human effort, probably the kind of tech intervention which have happened in this era, they are just brilliant. Whether it is AI, whether it is the power of social media, what they have brought to workplace, or even in social and personal space, that is just an amazing thing. And beyond that, success is also just not about on your professional front. I think the kind of commitment what they have brought in terms of personal space by respecting mental health and a lot of other issues, the way we have the kind of diverse workforces at workplaces, the kind of changes what they are bringing at different places, that is just amazing. So of course, if I had to see from that lens, they are achieving a lot more success than the previous generation. That has been the course throughout the time frame. Next generation is always smarter than that. And when it comes to are they in terms of traditional spaces, how they are performing on that aspect, I think every generation takes what the things which can be adopted in the newer generation, a newer concept. They're also transitioning in the very same way, and those values are also there. Yes, but looking at the circumstances and the kind of things which have evolved, they have also transitioned very fast in that space, and only relevant aspect is remaining, and that is one thing probably, that is one complaint which always keeps coming from the previous generation, that okay, these are the things which are not being respected, etc. And that is one aspect probably they can do a little better, but otherwise, in terms of success and redefining those things, they are doing extremely, extremely well. Back to you, tabletop master.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Anu, to define the core values among them. Um, Toastmaster Harsh, would you like to go next?
Yeah, Toastmaster Anu.
Okay. Sorry, Toastmaster Pallavi, I will give you a question in the next turn. Yeah. Toastmaster Harsh, tell one experience that left a lasting mark on you like a tattoo. Tell one experience that left a lasting mark on you like a tattoo. Toastmaster Harsh, over to you.
How many of you have ever failed in your board exams, in your school days, in any of the circumstances? Anyone? Mostly
Yeah,
every.
recently failed.
Yeah, great. So mostly everyone. In class 9, I was also failed in every subject except of English and Hindi. And at the time of PTM, what I have done, like uh, uh, almost before like 2 days, almost before 2 days of my PTM, when my parents asked me that hurts, what is the uh, date on which the parent teacher meeting would be held of your half yearly exam. I said that it hasn't been announced yet. So after that, like at that particular time, after 2 days, when the uh, parent teacher meeting happened, then the teacher asked me that, Harsh, are your parents coming? I said, no, they are out of town. So at that particular time, the teachers, I was a Gen Z, so I wasn't able to think that if I told a lie, there would be many repercussions for that, right? But in at that particular situation, since my parents were not coming, so I just parents were busy with the teachers at that particular time. So I moved out of my classroom and like started bunking the uh, class at that particular time. And then the moment the meeting was going on, I had gone to my house. And after almost 2 years, I got a phone call in my home. When I reached my home, they called my mother and they asked that is Hers reached the home. I told them that my mother told them that yeah, the timing was 1:50 of the school and he was there by 2. So at that particular time, by saying that one lie, that has created a tattoo of being a liar on my elbow. So in the end, I would like to say that instead of uh, telling lie, try to become a you should try to speak truth so that you can become a tattoo of honesty and truth. That's all from my side.
Thank you, Toastmaster Harsh, to letting us know about your childhood journey as well. Thank you so much. Toastmaster Pallavi, are you there? Toastmaster, okay. Toastmaster Pallavi, what experience has left a permanent mark on you? What experience has left a permanent mark on you, Toastmaster Pallavi? Over to you.
Good evening, everyone. Yes, as the Hershey's explained, sometimes a failure are more impactful than a success because if it hurt us more and think once I have heard that people remember the rumor of ill words of others spread uh, more than the appreciations of other. Same way, the failure impact us more than the our success. So even for me, the lasting impact that I had was of my annual function of my son, where I was asked to speak as a want to share my experience. I just was as a feedback. I just spoke towards some performance by all the students. When I was back to my home, my son asked, "Mother, you encourage us to speak better, but when your terms come, you are mom and you are not able to give even a one line of feedback. So this was not acceptable." So this word echoes in my mind right now also, even after the passage of full 20 years. Now my son has completed his graduation and having his own job, his own working his life. But that work is as green as it has been said to me today itself. So sometimes the word of your close one, your one who just highlighted or when you disappoint your younger ones, your loved ones, that echoes you and you wants to make it you promise yourself not to repeat it again. So at that time I was not able to gather my so much confidence to have a speaks building, but now at my first leisure after completing my all family responsibility, I am here in a Toastmasters just to have a better version of myself. Thank you, and back to the Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Pallavi, for sharing such a wonderful experience and the reason for being here in this platform. Thank you so much. So that was all from my side, being a table topic master for today's meeting. And now I would like to return control of the meeting to the Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Anu.
Before Toastmaster Anu takes the stage, I would love to give you a topic, Toastmaster Kansha.
Okay, I was prepared for that. Okay.
Toastmaster Kansha. Tattoo first, think later. Tattoo first, think later. Toastmaster Kansha.
Sorry, Toastmaster Manvi, can you please repeat?
Tattoo first, think later. Tattoo first, think later. Toastmaster Kansha.
Okay, so I think this is a very controversial topic, I would say, because I put a lot of effort before getting it permanent, and I would not go mindlessly and jot it on my arms and think it about it later. So I'm not that kind of personality. But anyways, as you have given the topic, so I would like to say that um I'm just the opposite of that. I put a lot of mind before doing anything and the purpose behind it. I find if it doesn't make sense or n- is if nothing is meaningful out of that, I won't pursue it. And uh, what would you like to do, Toastmaster Manvi? Over to you.
We still are not there with the dream card. You can share how people do not think and get a tattoo and then regret later. Maybe.
Okay, but I'm not very much aware about that circumstances. So maybe you can share some.
Do you want any tattoo? Or ever
Mm,
thought of having any tattoo?
no, not yet.
Okay, I believe
Yeah.
I even ran out of question here. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Akansha, for this. And I would like to hand over the stage to Toastmaster Anu.
Thank you, Toastmaster Manvi. So I'll second both of you. I'm also not very keen on tattoos, but that was a brilliant take by Toastmaster Smriti. At least we can have those kind of perspectives. But before I get into anything, I just wanted to, super job, Toast Table Topic Master Akansha. At least you have brought more and more inclusive perspectives to the theme of the day. And in my view, I think probably this has just elevated the overall experience and session. Otherwise, we would not have been able to accommodate those many views around the theme. So thank you so much, and a super job on that front. Now, looking at the time, I have a couple of things to share, but before I share, I would want to go back to our general evaluator for the feedback, and then I would like to wrap it up after that. My take on today's theme, at least, what are the things which I feel can be imbibed upon. But more than that, I think everyone has already spoken about it. What are the things which can be passed from one generation to another? Whether it is Deepesh who talked about, I mean, how social media is destroying inner peace, or how Toastmaster Smriti talked about anchor and wheel, and how what kind of relevance it brings to the table. So I think we have got a very diverse view on the particular theme, and there were a lot of takeaways from table topic itself. So probably we can implement that, and I'll come back with my couple of takes on how at least as a millennial we can be more accommodative towards Gen Z at workplace per se. But before I get into that, I would like to invite our today's general evaluator, Toastmaster Hers, to share his feedback on today's meeting and share the evaluation report. So over to you, general evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Anup. So, once again, a very good evening to everyone present over here. So, starting with the evaluation segment. So, first, I would like to call Toastmaster Asank to evaluate the speech of Toastmaster Anushka. Before that, I would like to introduce Toastmaster Asank. Asank is one of the super diligent Toastmasters of the District 124. Apart from that, like he is someone who has spent almost 8 years, sorry, to be specific, 7 years, 10 months in Toastmasters International. Apart from that, he is associated with Emeritus and a Toastmaster who is acting as a mentor, not for 10, 15, or 20 members, but for the entire district. He is someone who is always there to help you, to mentor you, to guide you, and to help you learning in different aspects. That's all from my side. Over to you, Toastmaster Asank. Toastmaster
You-
Asank.
Asank, you're on mute.
Sorry about that. So I was saying thank you so much. This is my second round of introduction for today. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Harsh. Coming to the target speaker Toastmaster Anushka. Congratulations, first of all, for completing your level 1 project 2, writing a speech with purpose. The topic again was how communication beats intelligence. Your speech was interspersed with a lot of like anecdotes, examples, how you have been trying to making sure you are putting yourself out, and at the same time making sure it's what, as per me, the purpose of this project was to ensure that it's the persistence or the perseverance of being able to communicate, putting yourself out, making sure you are making your mark. It may or may not connect with the individual, but somewhere or the other it has helped you, is what I was able to infer from your speech. Coming back to the way you structured your speech, you mentioned a lot about how sometimes intelligence is something that has been good for you, how it makes people better. You went from a specific to general to specific way of delivering, making sure it was something that was not just about you, but even you try to give a larger perspective to your speech, and try to give a lot of pointers that can be considered as a takeaway for the speech. A few recommendations that I have for you that will help you take your speech to the next level. First and foremost, I will say avoid disclaimers if at all possible. It does not matter if you are like you mentioned about you did not have a prepared speech, you had jot down points, or maybe you mentioning you are not that tall, you are like just lowering your overall credentials in any way is something I'll say we can all refrain from. It's about we putting ourselves out, but at the same time making sure we give our best shot and let the audience decide if they consider it maybe not so prepared speech, or wherein you might have not jotted your points. So that is my 2 cents with respect to avoiding disclaimers wherever possible. The second thing is the examples that were used. So I felt a lot of times the examples that you quoted were superficial. What I mean by that is, when you mentioned about that example wherein you were cornered by an individual, the timid voice that was convincing you to do something, then you move to the example wherein you were talking about how uh, that when you stood out and when you made sure that you are taking that stand for yourself, that eventually helped you crack a lot of interviews as well in the management space. So I felt these were some examples that you covered, but it could have been delved a little deeper with respect to covering how that did that make a difference in your how did that leave an indelible mark in your life, and that motivated you or transformed you to a better individual, is something we were all looking for. So it's about we being relatable, and we become relatable only when once we share our innovations and our struggles that we might have gone through during that process. The second thing is, the third feedback is the transitions. At times I felt you were talking about a particular example and then you jump to another example or two, or another pointer or two, wherein that first pointer was not given a proper full stop or a proper maybe even if I may say comma with respect to covering that point. So just the transitions and the overall examples could have been better. All in all, a great speech, a well structured speech, a lot of inferences, a lot of pointers as to how we all can learn from making sure we are communicating to our best, and intelligence will follow, or eventually in the process of we communicating and putting ourselves out, we will learn a lot, and in the process become a little more intelligence. Thank you so much for your speech. Looking forward to hearing you more often. Back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Toastmaster. Thank you for sharing your evaluation report. Now moving to the tag team, starting with our counter. Toastmaster Smriti, is your report ready? Yeah, so Toastmaster Smriti, you can share your report.
Thank you so much, Mr. General Evaluator. Now, today, in spite of in which particular generation bracket we fall into, we did not fail to make our name to that particular report which I am about to share. Well, I'm happy that I'm about to share a report wherein you can individually see your R's and Ms with respect to the graph and also with respect to number. But that's not the concern area. Let's discuss about how we can address this particular issue. The word or the filler which topped the chart today is ah. Ah has been used beautifully in a very strategical manner in this particular meeting. Few of us we used in the beginning, few used as a transition, and few we just decided to say ah when we don't have anything else to do. So how we can eradicate the same, not only the ah and the other fillers equally. Now I'll give you few suggestions, which is end of the day the practice which is going to help all of us. When you get any topic, be it a table topic, a prepared speech, or a normal conversation, have a structure in your mind that I'll go say my point and my reason, then an example, and I'll conclude. Have this rhythm in your mind. Even if you are speaking like the general evaluator is asking me to share the report, I have this in my mind. I will give my point, I'll give my reason, then an example, I'll conclude. So if you have a structure, you will avoid the filler, the unnecessary pauses which are needed. Second is try to chunk your ideas, make shorter sentence rather than bringing huge sentences. You remember, try to remember it, you try to fill it, or you forget entirely, and we do the ahs and ums and we start singing in front of the screen, which is not intentional. So that's the second suggestion: chunk your idea, make smaller sentences if needed. Third and very crucial, anchor phases. When you feel or you are in that dilemma that what to speak next, use anchor phases like here is a point. Let me think about it. And that's how I perceive. Use your own anchor phrases which will help you to fill those gaps and avoid the fillers. I already pasted the report here. I'll do the number report again. But I hope the suggestions will definitely help us. And with that, I conclude my report and give the stage back to Mr. General Evaluator. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Smriti, for sharing your counter report. Moving to the other role player, Toastmaster Akansha. Yeah, you can share your grammarian report.
Okay.
Is my screen visible? Okay. Toastmaster Anup used word of the day 2 times, and the good word usage was equilibrium, which means a state of balance. Toastmaster Anushka stated the word acquaintance, which means a known person but not friend. Toastmaster Asankya good word usage was atheist, which means don't believe in God. Toastmaster Smriti stated anchor and wheel in her table topic, which means a balance between stability and direction while remaining grounded. Toastmaster Pallavi used word of the day 1 time, and I used 2 times. Uh, guest Dipesh used the word amalgamate, which means process of uniting or merging. That's my report. Thank you so much, and over to you, Toastmaster Harsh.
Thank you, Toastmaster Kancha, for sharing your report. Now I would like to call the table topic evaluator, Toastmaster Manvi. Is your report ready?
Yes, it is. And I was wondering, I'm saved when you called upon the GAT team, but I didn't knew that you will be bringing me there. So, starting with my table topic, speakers report. I'll not go in detail for every single speaker, but there are few things that I would love to share how the speakers represented in a very good, what they represented in a good way, and what being an impromptu speaker, all of us can incorporate to make it more fluent. The very first thing that I personally felt, almost all these speakers were very fluent with the topic. As soon as the topic was given, they started and they even included a personal story. My dear friends, whenever we incorporate a personal example or a personal story, most of the audience relate with it. So that is a very good way to engage the attention of the audience. Along with that, the other good way of engaging the attention is asking questions. Like I still remember Toastmaster Harsh. As soon as he started, he asked a question wherein all the audience members raised their hands, wherein he already grabbed the attention of almost all the people in the room. That is a very good way. While we are still thinking about the topic, what we need to think, what we need to say next. There are few things that I saw almost not all, but maximum speakers repeated. Maximum speakers use while they were thinking what they should speak next. I know impromptu speaking is difficult, but if you are not sure what to speak next, pause in between. Pause so that the filler words are not there and your mind gets enough time to think what to speak next. If you are still wondering what to say, what not, take a deep breath, calm your nerves down, and then start instead of hurriedly starting on any of the topics. The other thing that I would recommend to all the speakers is while we are in an online meeting, I know maintaining an eye contact is very difficult, but while in an online meeting, we should look into the camera. If I look into the screens, you will feel I'm not looking at you. But on the other hand, as soon as I look into the camera of my laptop, that will give a sense of eye contact to all the people who are there in the room. Today, I witnessed majority of the speakers were looking either on the tiles of speakers or looking here or there, sideways and whatnot. In that situation, people who are there in the room might get distracted and won't listen to you. So try looking in the camera hole while you are speaking in an online setup. Um, the other thing that I would like to share is a quick trick that I usually implement whenever I get a table topic is OREO. OREO. As soon as you get a topic, if you are not sure what to speak next, Give your opinion on the topic. That is the first O of that specific point. What you feel about the topic. The first O is covered. The next is R. R is the reason why you gave that opinion. What you feel, what exactly is the reason you believe that this should happen. That is the reason. Then give an example that I was mentioning the personal story. That is the example. And then restate your opinion. Go back to the initial point where you started and summarize it. When you start, when you follow this specific approach, you'll never go under time at least. You might go over time, but you'll never be under time. So that was the overall report from my side, being the table topic evaluator, Toastmaster Hirsch. Thank you so much. The stage is all yours.
Toastmaster Pallavi, is your report ready?
Yes.
Hello. Yeah, Toastmaster Pallavi, please share your timer, please.
Okay. In prepared speech, Toastmaster Anushka took 6 minutes 20 seconds. And for table topic, only two of them are disqualified. I'm not sure about disqualification. Hershey took 2 minutes 59 seconds, and Toastmaster Akansha took 55 seconds. All of them are qualified. Rest all of them are qualified. First, Anushka took 2 minutes 14 seconds. Toastmaster Manvi took 1 minute 58 seconds. Dipesh sir took 2 minutes 24 seconds. Toastmaster Shubham took 1 minute 36 seconds. Toastmaster Smriti took 2 minutes 16 seconds. Toastmaster Asankhya took 1 minute 49 seconds. Toastmaster Nukhil took 1 minute 30 seconds. Toastmaster Anup sir took 2 minutes 15 seconds. And I took, Toastmaster Pallavi took 1 minute 58 seconds. For evaluation, Toastmaster Asankhya took 3 minutes 50 seconds. Smriti for her counter report took 2 minutes and 7 seconds. Toastmaster Kansha took 55 seconds for grammarian reports, and Toastmaster Manvi took 4 minutes 16 seconds for evaluation. And back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Pallavi, for sharing the timers report. Let's start with the general evaluator report, starting with the time for it. Like today, we were 12 minutes late. We started the meeting on 4:12, and there were like Sergeant at Arms Toastmaster Akansha mentioned the mission and vision of the Toastmasters, and she also like mentioned all the guidelines. All the guidelines were covered by Toastmaster Akansha. So kudos to you for that. Just a small recommendation for you, Toastmaster Akansha, that for example, it's been almost 7 to 8 months since you have been the member of the TMCL. So, like, I would like, as a Sergeant at Arms, you can learn the mission of the Toastmasters International. It's just 2 to 3 lines, and guidelines are almost 4 to 5 points. So, like, it will help you to improve the retention skills, the retention power. So that's a small recommendation from my side. Moving to the next presiding officer of the meeting. Presiding officer Toastmaster Nikhil was not present. So Toastmaster Manvi acted as the presiding officer of the meeting. She started by appreciating her fellow Toastmaster. So great gesture, Toastmaster Manvi, for that. And apart from that, she asked everyone to open the cameras. Like most of us have opened the cameras, but almost 4 to 5 members at that particular time wasn't able to open the camera. So, and after that, Toastmaster Manvi introduced the guest. So, great work, Toastmaster Manvi. Toastmaster Manvi forgot to mention the points about the Toastmasters International, which was covered by the Toastmaster of the day today. So, a great work, Toastmaster Manvi and Toastmaster Anu. Moving to the report of the Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Anup, ties to tattoos. So kudos to you, Toastmaster Anup, for bringing us such an informative and interesting topic. Like you have, uh, as I already mentioned, you have explained the flow of the meeting. Great work. You have engaged everyone. We were like few minutes ago, we were talking about engagement part. So the way you engage, the questions you ask, everyone wants to answer that question. So great work in picking up the choice of questions. Apart from that, you have like you mentioned 2 points that tattoos signifies Gen Z, ties signifies millennials. So great work for that, the simplicity part. And apart from that, I believe you picked the favorite topic of the individuals, talking about Gen Zs and millennials. Like most of us, almost 11 members which are present in the meeting, almost everyone can relate about this topic. Every one of us have like many things to speak on that particular topic. So great work in bringing the type of topic. There are few areas where I felt you could have improved. Like as I just mentioned, you disclose the essence of the theme. For example, you mentioned tattoo signifies Gen Zs and tie signifies millennials in your opening. Like I, if I would be at your place, I would have like created a type of suspense instead of mentioning it in the opening that tattoo signifies. I will be speaking about Gen Zs and millennials. I would have created a suspense. For example, a type of short story. Uh, for example, I am a Gen Z. I am facing this issue, and a type of suspense or thrill story. So it would have created a better impact. Though today's session was like I would rate it almost 8 out of 10. So great work. Uh, like one more small recommendation from my side: the clarity of questions. Though the questions you asked was great, but at one point I felt you were rephrasing your questions many times, or like 2 to 3 times you were rephrasing it. So uh, for me, it was becoming a bit difficult to understand the question, what you are trying to ask. Though Toastmaster Anushka and guest Dipesh has were able to answer, but I believe if a simple question, what the main point you want to ask, you want from us as an audience, that exactly if you would be able to frame it, so it would be a overall it would become a 10 out of 10 session. Moving to the auxiliary role players, Toastmaster Pallavi. First of all, Toastmaster Pallavi, thank you for taking the timer role at the last moment. Uh, she shared her report. It was crisp and covered almost every word. So kudos to you. Great work. Just a small recommendation. Instead of telling the timings of everyone, you can share it in the chat box. So it could save almost like 4 to 5 minutes, though you have uh, covered all the points. And before taking any role, almost like try to read the script so that you can understand what is the qualifying time. You like at that particular time, you don't need to ask everyone that I don't know the qualification time. So you can see that. So almost before taking any role, you can ask for the script, either from the VP Education or the president of the club. That's all. Great job, Toastmaster Pallavi. Moving to the next role player, our counter Toastmaster Snuti. I believe she has a habit of introducing her role in a creative manner. So kudos to you for that. Apart from that, mentioning the strategies, how we can improve the R's, and various filler words. The way you shared, you covered almost everything. So it really happens. I don't have a recommendation for you. Great job, Toastmaster Smoothie. Moving to the next role player, Toastmaster Akansha. Uh, Toastmaster Akansha, you have chosen a great word, diligent, but you forgot to add my name. I have also used the word of the day. So please try to improve your listening skills. Apart from that, there were like you can add 1 or 2 columns. For example, you added the column of good words. You can add the column of creative usages, creative quotes, or some of the error. For example, areas where we can improve mispronounced words. For example, I wasn't able to pronounce one or two words. For example, instead of saying inculcate, I was saying inculcate. So these type of words you can mention in your report. And uh, yeah, that all from. You can also focus on the tenses part. As I while like listening to everyone, I observed that various individuals have a confusion of using have and had, where we have to use have, had, and there, these types of words. So you can uh, focus on the tenses part as well. That's all from my side. Overall, great work. Toastmaster Akansha, thank you. Moving to the table topic evaluator, Toastmaster Manvi. Toastmaster Manvi, you have literally covered everything, though I forgot to introduce you, but you have covered literally everything. You have shared your report in almost in 7 to 8 minutes without mentioning the name, though it would be great if you have like shared a one commendation and one recommendation for each and everyone. But for saving the time, you have shared the report, so great job for that. As a table topic master, Toastmaster Akansha, kudos to you for bringing such an interesting topic. Like the moment I was listening to the topic, I wasn't able to raise the hand. I was thinking that what would I can speak. So bringing these type of topic literally felt very amazing. So great work, Toastmaster Akansha, for that. Moving to a small recommendation for you as the table topic master. While introducing the role, whether of a table topic master or any of the role, avoid using notes. It's a simple rule. You can improvise it. Okay, so you can avoid the notes for that. Apart from that, moving to the prepared speeches segment, though Toastmaster Asank as evaluator covered almost everything, but point to add on, Toastmaster Anushka, like while delivering your speech, you don't need to repeat the topic of your speech again. That's a small recommendation from my side. Toastmaster Asank, for you as an evaluator, just a small recommendation. Always share a commendation part with a smile whenever you are sharing the commendation. And apart from that, what I saw, you can work on the structure part of the evaluation, because at one point I felt you are confusing in the while mentioning the commendation and recommendation part. Like as in the commendation part, you have included one or two recommendation part, and then you are saying moving to the areas of improvement or the recommendation part. I think I have covered everyone. That's all from my side. Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Anup, over to you. You can conclude your session.
Thank you, Toastmaster Harsh, for such an insightful evaluation session, and I'm pretty sure that all of you will get benefited out of it. So thank you for that. Now, in order to conclude, and I just wish that we can conclude this meeting well on time. So I just have few quick points how we can, at least as millennial, make a improvement in at workplace, so that we are more inclusive and we can get more meaningful work done at workplaces with the new generation. And my take on that is there are a couple of points which I just listed down. One is, of course, bringing transparency, right? So at least at workplaces, in terms of defining objectives, if we are transparent on that aspect, I'm pretty sure that it can help in a big way, so that we do not get into that conflicting zone. Second thing, what I had was around having respectful conversation, right? So the way I said some time back, for younger generation, I mean, when we were also young, the only ask is take me seriously. It is just not that whatever I'm saying is right. So at times I think we miss on that part. So having respectful conversations can help both the parties at the workplace. So that is something what can be implemented. And as last recommendation or suggestion, which I have at least from all of this, uh, Along with transparency, it is also very important that explain the purpose when you're assigning any kind of work to anyone. I mean, whether it is whatever generation it is, explaining purpose always helps in order to deliver superior results. So these are a couple of takes which I had at least at workplaces which can improve and where we can bring that equilibrium. I mean, the poster which was there in terms of ties and tattoos, how we can have a more inclusive and conducive work environment, probably implementing these suggestions and couple of suggestions which also came during table topics can help in bridging this particular gap. I have one reel. I'll share it in the role players. I mean, in that group. So since we heard that we had one atheist in group, so this is from another atheist, Javed Akhtar, who talks about how he has stayed relevant throughout the year, throughout this time frame, right? And it is a very beautiful take. Again, it is in a reel format, which symbolizes with the tattoos. But his take, I mean, you'll be able to see that within 1.5 minutes, what he talks about, how to stay contemporary, how to stay relevant. That is very beautiful and apt when I was looking at that reel. So I'll just share it in that group, and that's all from my side. Probably we can just have quick votes if Techmaster can help us with the proceedings. Yeah.
Are the tools visible? In the meantime, everyone is voting. Maybe we can go ahead with Master Anu and hand over the stage to the PO as well.
Sorry.
We have received all the votes. I'll be creating the certificates. Please continue.
Perfect. So by the time certificates are being created, in case you guys have any suggestion, at least at workplace, what can help, probably we can take one or two suggestions, and by that time our report will also be ready. So anyone, in case you wish to share anything, how we can have a better inclusive environment at workplaces between ties and tattoos. Okay. Then I think then I have to start picking people for that. So Toastmaster Nikhil, any take from your side?
Uh, so when we were discussing this Gen Z and millennials debate, I was just listening and didn't really get a chance to share my opinion. So I think we, how I look at it is that we are a little too judgmental towards Gen Zs is what I believe. I have spent a lot of time with Gen Zs, and a part of me is already Gen Z, I can say, and so I would be a little biased. But I mean, we talk about patience, we talk about resilience and things like that. But the question that we need to ask us is, have we are yet to uh, see a 30-year-old Gen Z, right? So how can we expect them to be as mature as all of us, I mean the millennials? So I think we need to give them some time, and obviously I would really love them to make mistakes to be the way they are, because we millennials tried a lot to convince our earlier generations, say our parents, but my father still tells me after I am 30-year-old and I still get to hear how he used to cross 2 rivers and 5 mountain peaks and 3 planets to go to school. So I think that is something, when we could not convince the generations before us, how can we expect them to do it? And as I said, they still are very young and have a lot of time. So let's just give them their fair bit of share, and let's see how this pans out.
Correct, correct. I'm sure what Toastmaster Smriti also talked about, that anchor and wheel will come in place. Sorry, I think I have some network issue. Is it at mine?
No,
Okay.
fine.
So I think what you also talked about, I mean, all of us get those kind of lessons, and probably we are also trying to do the very same thing with the next generation, and that is where all these things are coming up. But I'm pretty sure. I mean, what Aristotle talked about some thousands years back. I mean, that stays relevant. It is the very same thing. And in fact, I have shared one reel. Whenever you get a time, please go through that. Javed Akhtar also talks about the very same thing. How to, I mean, what are the kind of gaps we experience and how we can stay relevant and meaningful. So that's all. Toastmaster Manvi, are you ready with the certificates? Okay, back to you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Anoop. Now I would like to hand over the stage to the President of Toastmasters Club of Lucknow, Toastmaster Nikhil. Toastmaster Nikhil, the stage is all yours.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Manvi, and can we please have a big round of applause for our Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Anoop. So this was long due, and I guess the wait was worth it. And thank you so much, Toastmaster Anoop, for taking us on this interesting ride. Something that we all keep thinking about, but it was really great to have an open discussion around it. So by the time that Toastmaster Manvi shares the certificates, I would just like to open the stage for everyone, especially those joining us from outside Toastmasters Club of Lucknow, to please share your feedbacks, any opinion, any feedback that you have, or how was your experience with us. Toastmaster Pallavi, Toastmaster Dipesh. Also, I would like to hear from our former president, Toastmaster Shubham. How was it to be here after such a long time?
Well, it was great, Toastmaster Nikhil. The energy is same, the learnings, everything is exactly the same. Listening different perspective from different people, and like, seeing like smiling faces and all. It's very good to be back and experience this again.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shubham. We are glad that you said that, and we have managed to maintain that intensity, that sweetness in our meetings. And Toastmaster Deepesh, would you like to share your experience and feedback that you have for us?
For me, it's the takeaway from this meeting. I have plenty of takeaways from this meeting, starting from the theme, the way Toastmaster of the day conducted the entire meeting. And it's quite difficult to actually these days integrate and have attention of the audience, considering a time where attention is actually falling. So he brought out something unique, something very engaging, something which everybody connects to. So that is really commendable. And I really like the way how Smriti spoke in table topics. I think if somebody wants to appear for the contest, I think that's the textbook of how a table topic should be delivered. Because the kind of topic she got, anybody would be clean bold if the kind of topic she really got, and the way she presented the counter report, and that's the exactly way our tag team report should present a report, because it's not always about counting filler words or counting the grammatical mistake. It's about how we can do improve in those areas or those domains. I think those are my key takeaways. So it's never really about the same old way of doing things. If we can bring slight more changes, I think it really contributes to the people who join the meeting and their overall public speaking skills. So that's what my key takeaways from this meeting.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Deepesh. We look forward to have you with us in upcoming meetings as well. Toastmaster Pallavi is someone I always look forward to hear from. Toastmaster Pallavi, how was your experience?
Thank you so much. As usual, I would say it was wonderful. I always love the way so much positivity around. And I would thank Anup sir for this wonderful theme of the day. It would help me to understand my kids better. Maybe the generation, due to generation gap, we are unable to understand. Now I would be able to understand them better. And just to add to what Dipesh said, being Smriti's table topic, I also love the way Manvi gave the feedback on table topics. The four Oreo. We all know how Oreo biscuits, so it will always be with me, that Oreo words. If you don't know the, because I get clean board and I ask for the change of the topic, but one of the feedback yesterday I got in table topic mania was you should never ask for a change in topic if you consider yourself a table topic. If Toastmaster, sorry. So and today what answer I got was, maybe I was asking the universe how to move ahead if I don't know what's the tip, how to move ahead. Today was the day where Manvi gave me the answer. So it's I always feel whenever I join the Toastmaster Club of Lucknow, there's something new and something very profound that I will like to carry over with me always. Thank you. Thank you, Asankhya ji, for getting to me and sharing the link with me. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Pallavi, and we also love it whenever you are here with us and the value that you bring into our meetings. Thank you so much. And speaking of Toastmaster Smriti, Toastmaster Manvi, I think especially Toastmaster Smriti and Toastmaster Sanket, our club coaches, I mean the value that they bring in, the kind of inputs that they give, I think a lot of credit goes to these two people, since they have become our club coaches, and obviously Toastmaster Manvi, who's been there supporting us. Also, I would like to extend my thank you to Toastmaster Suraj, who is not here in this meeting but been working very hard behind the scenes to execute all these meetings. So these four people are literally driving Toastmasters Club of Lucknow, I would say. And thank you so much for everything that you have been doing. Thank you, Toastmaster Anoop, for conducting such an interesting Toastmaster of the Day session and helping us provide some value to all the participants present in this meeting. Toastmaster Harsh for taking the general evaluator role and the detailed report that he shared. I think we all appreciate that, and I think there was a time when he used to be a very regular face with us, and it's really good to see him back again. Then Toastmaster Shubham, thank you so much for joining us back. Thank you so much to all the role players, starting with Toastmaster Kansha, Toastmaster Pallavi again, Toastmaster Smriti, Toastmaster Asankhya, and apologies if I missed anyone. With that, I would like to request Toastmaster Manvi to please share your screen so that we can announce the winners for today's meeting. Okay, so first up we have the best speaker for today's meeting, and no points for guessing this one. Toastmaster Anushka. Congratulations, Toastmaster Anushka. Can we please have you on camera? Is she in the meeting?
कैमरा तो नहीं है, फोन मर गया मेरा.
चलेगा. Okay, so
पहली बार सर्टिफिकेट मिला है, उसमें भी मेरा फोन मर गया.
Oh, it's okay. We'll edit it with your photo.
अच्छी वाली डालिएगा सर.
Yeah, sure. So next up we have best evaluator for today's meeting, and again there was only one evaluator, Toastmaster Asankhya. Do we have Toastmaster Asankhya in the room?
Yes, I'm there.
Okay, let me just. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Asankhya. Congratulations. And next up we have best table topic speaker, I suppose. Yes, and we had a lot of speakers in today's table topic session, and the best table topic speaker for today's meeting is Toastmaster Smriti. Congratulations, Toastmaster Smriti. Can we please have you on camera? Congratulations once again. And moving forward, next up we have best Eagle Eye role player. So that goes to best auxiliary role player for the meeting, which includes our tag team. And the best Eagle Eye role player for today's meeting goes to. Okay, so we have a tie between Toastmaster Akansha and Toastmaster Pallavi. Can we please have a big round of applause for both of them? And I would request Tech Master to please have them on camera. Yes. Thank you, Toastmaster Akansha, Toastmaster Pallavi, and congratulations. Next up, we have best Lionheart role player for today's meeting. So we had T-Mod, Toastmaster Anoop, General Evaluator Toastmaster Harsh, and Table Topic Master Toastmaster Akansha. And the award goes to Toastmaster Anoop, our Toastmaster of the day. Can we have a big round of applause for Toastmaster Anoop as well?
Thank you.
And that brings us to the end of the recognition segment. And before we wrap up this meeting and I hand over the stage to our Sergeant at Arms, I would request anyone who wants to say something, share your experience or any feedback. Alright then, thank you so much to all the participants for taking out time for this meeting, and we are glad to have you here. I hope we could add some value to the 2 hours that you have put in. Thank you so much, and I would like to hand over the stage to our Sergeant at Arms to officially close this meeting. Over to you, Toastmaster Akansha.
Thank you, Toastmaster Nikhil. From ties of trust to stories inked in identity, this meeting celebrates the journey that shape who we become. With this, I officially adjourn the meeting 234 of Toastmasters Club of Lucknow.